Polettirosa Homestead again. Well, today I thought I would show you how I make a meatloaf mix, and then I'm going to take that mix and I'm going to act like I saved it, and I'm going to put it into my meatloaf and make a meatloaf for you. Okay, so let's get started. You're going to need ground mustard, you're going to need paprika, you're going to need thyme, salt, basil, garlic powder, onion powder, and pepper. That's how you make your mix. From there you can get the small little jars and you can put that mix and save it so that whenever you make a meatloaf, all you have to do then is add an egg and some ketchup and maybe some breadcrumbs and you're done. Okay, so let's get making the mix. So first let's start out with ground mustard, and what I will do in the description below is I will list the recipe to make this, and then I'll add on and say what I did to make my meatloaf itself. So and for what we're making today, that's for 2 pounds of beef, okay? So what you want to do is you want 2 teaspoons of mustard powder. And 1 second. I always have to use one of these little baby spoons because my things are too big. And back behind me, you may hear I've got my canner going. I'm doing tomato soup. Okay. So you've got your 2 teaspoons of your mustard. Then you want 2 teaspoons of paprika. After that, you want 1/2 teaspoon of thyme. And you don't want a lot of thyme because thyme can be very strong. So you want 1/2 teaspoon of thyme. And mine is all grown in the garden. The only thing, I don't have mustard and paprika. Everything else I grow. And of course salt I don't grow. And you're going to need 1 teaspoon of salt, 1½ teaspoons of basil. Oh, that fits in there. 1½ teaspoons of basil. Then you're going to need 1 teaspoon of both garlic powder and 1 teaspoon of onion powder. Oh, my garlic came out beautiful this year. I was so happy. I got so much garlic. And then you're going to need about 1/2 teaspoon of pepper. Yeah, that's fine. Oops. And just mix that up real good. And I am going to run upstairs and show you what I keep it in. Because I have to go get a jar. I don't have a small jar down here. So I will be right back. Don't go nowhere. Okay, so I have these kind of little jars, and then I have ones that are a little bit smaller, but that's okay. And I'll just take my mix. Now some people put it in baggies. And then they put the baggies inside a mason jar. Oh, my canners. See? And then I got meatloaf mix. Either that or I have these spice jars, and this one's got steak rub on it. So one of the other I use. I'll just throw that over there. Okay. So now what we're going to do is we're going to take this mixture and put it to work. So I've got 2 pounds of chopped meat here. I'm going to roll up my sleeves. I'm going to put the 2 pounds right in there. Just mash it up a little bit. Okay, now to this. Oh, there's my egg. I'm going to add an egg, and these are my farm fresh eggs. I am going to add roughly about a half a cup of ketchup. And then to that, I have my homemade breadcrumbs. Now some people use like cubes, and I've done it both ways. I've done cubes and I've done breadcrumbs. This time I'm just going to do the breadcrumbs. And I would say I'm going to do the half a cup. I think that's what I would typically do. We'll see how that... My mom taught me that it's all by your hands. It's what you feel when you're doing the hands, and you get to a consistency. So I'm going to try the half a cup, and then if I have to, I'll add more, and I'll tell you about it, that also. And I'm just going to mix this up, and then I'm going to add in my spices. You want to mix it up real good, because you want to make sure that you got a good coating of the ketchup, you got a good coating of the breadcrumbs on all the meat. So what I do is I go in and I go like that. See, and if I would have stopped, I just saw a whole bunch of breadcrumbs on the bottom. And you know what? It looks like that half a cup is going to do really well. So then you take your mix and wash it right. And sprinkle your mix all in. Now, what I am going to do, because it does feel a little dry, I am going to add more tomato sauce. Ketchup. Ketchup, tomato sauce, whatever you want to use, you can use. Because it feels a little on the dry side. Maybe it's about a cup. That's better. So change it to a cup. And I will do that on the bottom, in the description. Then I just take one of my glass bread pans, loaf pans, and I put this in there. I put it in at 350 for roughly 45 minutes. Everybody's temperature is different. It depends upon how dark you want the top. Oh, this turned out really good. Now you don't even have to put any kind of spray or anything on your loaf pan because the meat's got the oil. So here's one of my loaf pans. And I'm just going to put this right in. And then just mold it to the pan. Then you need your ketchup again. And this is, a lot of people don't do this. My mom taught me to do this. And I think my mom had the best meatloaf ever. Just shape your sides. I usually go around the edge and go like this. It makes it bigger in the middle, and then just flatten it out. Now you want to take, again, either ketchup or you can take and all you're doing is you're rubbing the top of the meatloaf. And that's it, you're all done. Put it in the oven, and like I said, 45 minutes to an hour later, you're all done. Well, thanks again for visiting the Polettirosa Homestead, and I hope to see you again soon. Bye-bye, everybody.